comment if you're joining me live. Give me a what's up, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Hope you're having a great Friday. I promised I would do this training today, so I'm a little bit late. But for my Feel Good Friday, I wanted to talk about something that's not nutrition related or fitness related. This really can apply to a lot of things in your life, and it's about knowing the right investments for yourself, how to improve yourself in any aspect of your life. And if you are choosing to invest in yourself, how to feel good about it, how to pick the right time, and how to know the right choice for you. Because I feel like one of the biggest things I see in people who are struggling is making decisions, right? Whether it's like what nutrition plan to follow, what fitness plan to follow, relationships. It could be a number of things in their life. So making a decision can be really challenging. So I want to help you guys. I'm going to give you a little bit of a graphic here too to help you with the decisions, but I want to help you feel good about the decisions and the investments you make in your life. So yesterday here in the Facebook group, I asked you guys a very important question. What are your health and happiness worth to you? All right, what are your health and happiness worth to you? And so many people said everything. I mean, that's like it's almost like a rhetorical question, right? I mean, of course, we value our health and our happiness, and it's priceless, it's invaluable. But what I find so interesting is that oftentimes we put everything in front of our health and happiness, and we put that on the back burner. So comment in the chat if that's you. You put so many other things, you put work, you put outside circumstances, whatever, in front of your own health and happiness, other people's health and happiness. Comment that's you, all right? Hashtag that's me. And the truth is why this happens is because many people aren't willing to do what it takes consistently to have their health and their happiness because they're interrelated, right? Of course. And they're not really willing to give everything. And I'm not just talking about money here. When I talk about investment, I essentially mean your time, I mean your energy, and I mean your commitment, okay, to educating yourself and really knowing what you really need to succeed long-term on your health, your weight loss journey, or whatever you're looking to achieve in life. If it's to start a business, if it's to save a marriage, it's to start a family, it could be any of these things, right? And also learning how to stay commitment. Because a lot of people will say, well, oh, I'm committed, I'm super dedicated, I want this. But then like shit hits the fan, all right, lack of better words, things happen, and then we lose commitment. So why does that happen? All right, so this is where education comes in, and this is really the heart of my work, right, with Create My Weight. Many of you guys know I'm a former teacher. I was in the high school setting for 10 years. And ever since that journey, I've been teaching fitness nutrition. I've also been teaching for Institute of Integrative Nutrition in their emotional eating psychology course. And I've always been a lifelong learner because of that, and I'm still an educator. And over the years, I have invested thousands and thousands of dollars into my education. I'm not talking about my undergrad and my master's. I'm talking about like my nutrition, my fitness, all that other education that I bring to Create My Weight. And all of this knowledge on these topics and mindset especially have ultimately brought me long-term health and happiness. It's helped me and it's helped all the people I serve. Even a lot of you guys here in this group help to create a way of living that we're proud of and that makes us feel really good every single day. Okay, and here is the truth about education, because to me, really having health and happiness in life is about education. And I know there's a lot of teachers here in the group or people that are always learning. One of my favorite habits is to learn something new every single day. Spend 5-10 minutes learning something new, right? But here is the truth about education, you guys. Education without commitment, accountability, whatever you want to call it, is useless. I actually have that written down here. Education without commitment is useless. Here's why. Oftentimes we don't use that information, and I'm going to get into that in a minute here. But the whole purpose of investing in yourself and in your education, okay, in learning and succeeding and growing, is that it will ultimately save you time in the long run, right? Educating yourself will get you somewhere faster, right? And getting support, right? So real education provides you with support and commitment. That's the most important part about education. And I want to give you an example of some current education I'm going through. And I'm about to get personal here with you guys. My clients know I don't mind. I'm an open book, right? And so my husband and I, we've been in marriage counseling for the last 8 weeks, okay? We've done like 8 sessions. And, we finally invested in marriage counseling. Our therapist is phenomenal. And I will tell you what we've accomplished in 8 weeks with one person teaching us and holding us accountable and keeping us committed. We've accomplished more than we did in 2 years trying to figure things out on our own. Okay. My husband was like, oh, we'll try a book or we'll try little things on our own. Didn't really commit to any of that, right? So, like, yes, we're investing right now. It's not cheap, marriage counseling, but it's been super, super helpful. Because honestly, like, how much longer? If you're really struggling with something in your life, right, that you need support with, how much longer do you want to focus on that subject and stay stuck there? And it takes away from so many other areas of your life. Guys, if you're with me, comment here in the chat, like, what is something in your life you're struggling with that you feel like you need help with, but you haven't reached out for help because you're like, oh, I can do it on my own. I'll figure it out. But you just have not figured it out yet. All right. I'm giving an example here. Right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys here in the group, you're here because nutrition is still a challenge for you. Fitness is still a challenge. Weight loss, weight gain, building muscle. Those are things you're still struggling with. Comment in the chat if any of those apply to you. Okay. So, investing in yourself and getting that help will help you save time, right? And it will save your quality of life. Michelle commented here in the group yesterday about, what is health and happiness worth to her? A peace of mind. That is invaluable. So you will have more of a peace of mind once you really know what helps you, and you'll get your results and you'll be happier faster, right? So again, saving time and then saving money in the long run. Oh my gosh. So for example, marriage counseling, right? Like, yes, it's a big investment, but like, how much is divorce? How much is like being unhappy? How costly is that? Right? How costly is that? And then if you're on the health or weight loss journey, how much are you spending in personal training, on fitness memberships, meal plans, meal delivery services, all these things we pay for, Peloton, okay, all this equipment that's just not helping you, right? Like, we're throwing money out. What if you could start like saving that money and putting it something that is going to help you, that's going to serve you? We got to think about that. That's the whole point of investing in yourself, because you are worth it. Hashtag I'm worth it. I'm going to keep talking about that here in a second. And you guys, I want to be really honest. Like, I grew up in a household where we had this scarcity mindset, right? My dad very much was about being on a budget and, only spending money on certain things. And so I grew up very frugal, and I was always afraid to spend money. I remember, and to this day, like, I'm still a bargain shopper in many ways, but for things that I value, my health and my happiness, forget it. Again, I've invested tons, right? And I know a lot of people here in the group have done the same thing, right? But when we're educated what we really need, that's my point here, that is the investment of a lifetime that will just keep paying dividends for you through health and happiness. All right. And I want to talk a little bit about this graphic behind me. And this is something that really helped me be more willing to invest in myself, because it took me a long time to get there. Comment in the chat if that's you. Comment in the chat if you're afraid to invest in yourself. That used to be me, I swear. And this graphic is called the cheap, quick, good triangle. Comment in the chat if you've heard of it before. This was like a game changer for me. So the truth of this triangle, okay, is that you can, of these three words, cheap, good, and quick. You guys see that? Yeah. Cheap, good, and quick. You can't have all of those things. You can always have two of the three, but never all of them together. All right. So here's an example. So you can have cheap and quick, but it's not good. Okay. So for example, like you get a meal plan. Okay. It's free on Pinterest. It's, quick. Okay. I'm going to read this plan. Like, I'm going to follow this. But is it any good for me? Like, do I like what I'm eating? How do I feel? How sustainable is this? And there's usually a hidden cost too, right, guys? So like, cheap and quick, you're not going to have good. You can have those two, but not all of it. Okay. You can have like the same work. You can go on YouTube, find workouts, right? They're cheap, they're free, they're quick, but maybe they're not good. How long are you spending to find workouts that you like, right? Or you can have cheap and good, but it's not quick. Okay, so in this situation, right, like the results are slow. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Cheap and good, quick results. Okay, so this is what I want to explain, like my marriage counseling, right? No, that's actually not it. Let me go back. Let me get a better example. Quick, cheap and good, but not quick. Okay, so this is like slow and steady wins the race, right? So maybe like over 2 years, and you're on the weight loss journey, you lose like 10 pounds. Okay, so maybe it's cheap. Yeah, maybe it's working, but it is not quick, right? Or maybe if you're going through a tough time in a relationship like I was, right? Maybe it's inexpensive. So you're doing something, but it's taking a long time, right? Or you're investing in your education, like you're getting your master's degree, right? You're going for a bachelor's, maybe, right? It takes years to get that, right? So again, if you get a loan, maybe it's cheap, but otherwise it's not. All right, this is what I wanted to really explain here. Okay, so this is my favorite: cheap and good. Is it cheap and good but not quick? Cheap and quick. Cheap and good. I'm sorry. Good and quick is not going to be cheap. That's the biggest one. Sorry guys, it's Friday night. I'm like out of it. All right, good and quick is not going to be cheap. Okay. So like I said, oftentimes we make investments in things that will get us somewhere faster. We're going to avoid pitfalls. We're going to not make the mistakes that other people have, or maybe we have year after year, day after day, whatever it is. So good and quick investments are not cheap. Okay. You get what you pay for. Just like if you invest in a good handbag or a good pair of shoes or a nice jacket, whatever it is. Those things I don't invest in because I don't value those things, right? We invest in what we value. I will invest in a pair of really nice sneakers because I beat up my sneakers, okay? And a lot of people that don't even know that, right? We invest in what we value. But again, guys, good and quick is not going to be cheap, right? That really lasts long term, right? Long term solution. And ultimately, and I said this before, education without commitment is useless, right? And so, we're going to learn something good and we're going to learn it in a shorter amount of time. But again, it's not going to be cheap, right? Because it's what makes it good is the commitment that we have. Okay. Because without commitment, we're not going to take action. Without commitment, we're not going to take action. Think about an education. Let's say you download a bunch of free guides. Okay, you take a free course online, or you apply for a free course online, or you join a free challenge, or whatever. Those give us what I call a false sense of security. Because we maybe look at the information, we download it, we apply for it, whatever, and we think, oh yeah, the answers, I have them, I know what to do. But most of the time we choose not to really use it. Maybe we don't even open it up. Oh yeah, I have like 10 ebooks I've yet to read. I joined that challenge and I didn't do it. Like whatever, right? Or it was only like 10 days and then what, right? Because we don't build that consistency because the commitment isn't there, right? We're not invested in it. Time, energy, money, all the above, right? So again, when I say investment, I'm not just talking about money, you guys. I'm not, right? It's so much more than that, all right? So the question arises, what do we need to invest in, right? Because I'm talking all about this topic. And this would be a heavy topic for a Friday night, but I want you to think about it over the weekend, right? And then you're thinking about like what's coming up in the future. So what do you need to invest in? And there's 4 questions to ask yourself when you're deciding this. So number 1 is, what do you need support in your life? Like, what do you need to really have your health or your happiness, or both? Okay. So if you're in this group, maybe you think, I need nutrition support, right? I need to learn like what foods work for me. I need to know what foods I enjoy that will serve my goals. I need to know what will stop me from being bloated all the freaking time. What's going to stop me from breaking out? What foods serve me, right? Should I be plant-based? Should I do keto? Like, I know I'm not a keto girl, but what is it that I need to do? How do I lower my A1C, lower my cholesterol? Right? How do I deal with my PCOS? I hear these things all the time. Okay, so maybe you need some support there. Maybe you need some support in your fitness, right? I've been doing these workouts for like 2 years, not really getting any results. I really struggled to be motivated to exercise. I hate working out. Like, how do I even where do I begin? I'm a complete beginner. I don't know what to do, right? Squatting hurts my knees. I can't do a push-up. I hate running. What do I do? Where do I go from here? I really like to dance, but how can I incorporate that into my fitness lifestyle and see results from it? Maybe you need support there. You need some direction, or your fitness routine is just like not cutting it for you anymore, right? Maybe you need some help with your mindset, right? And a lot of people don't realize the significance of mindset. So maybe you tell yourself some really mean things like, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be able to lose this weight or lower my blood sugar. I'm never going to be able to get to the next level. It's only going to last for so long. Maybe you have a lot of self-sabotage going on. Maybe you have these cravings that really control you, right? You're overeating a lot, even if you're not hungry. You just know like you're attached to certain foods. Or maybe you just really are lazy and you lack the confidence in yourself. And that is why you're not consistent. And that is why you're struggling in all parts of your life. Lack of motivation is lack of confidence. I say this all the time. Okay, so maybe you're struggling there. Or lastly, maybe you just know like you're not going to hold yourself accountable. You really need help with accountability and commitment, right? Because education without commitment is useless. Investment without commitment is useless. So that's question number one. What do you need support in? This is how you choose your investment. Number two, what kind of support is best for you? So this is something we really have to understand about who we are as a person and how we learn best, right? So this is a big part of our learning style. Like, how do you like to learn, right? How will you stay accountable and committed? And how will you stay engaged? That's everything. How will you stay interested? How will you stay make the material more applicable to you? How will that look? What will that look like? Maybe it's working with someone one-on-one. Like right now I'm working with a therapist one-on-one with my husband, right? And that's working out well for us. Maybe you prefer more of a group environment, right? Where you have the support of other people, you have an instructor or a coach or whoever, a mentor, and you have a group and a community. It takes a village, we always say, right? To really have that full lifestyle, right? And stay motivated and committed. Maybe it's a hybrid of both. You get one-on-one support, you get the community support. That's what Create My Weight looks like, for example. That works really well. Maybe you like a course. All right, so here I am. I've written courses, multiple courses. Oh my God, I think like 20 in my lifetime. And so you like learning that way, right? And so you kind of like no one to help you and you want to do it all yourself. Great, if that works best for you. You get results. Whatever it takes to get results. But remember, education without commitment is useless. So make sure there's a commitment piece there. Okay, whether it's financial, there's someone you check in with, whatever. So that's number two. What support is best for you? Number three, write this down. When is the right time? Okay, this is a great question. And I'll get personal with you guys again. So I'm 35. In May, we will celebrate 6 years of marriage, okay, which is great. And, I get lots of questions like, when are you having children? Right? Comment in the chat if you're like me, you get questions of like, when are you having kids or why don't you have kids? I don't get offended. It doesn't bother me. But the truth is I'll say things like, well, like I'm really focused on my career. My husband's doing the same thing. We've moved a lot in the last few years. Things are a little unsettled. And people will tell me there's never a right time. There's never a right time to have kids. Right. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I know it's not right now. Right. I know that. But again, when it comes to, choosing the right time for an investment in yourself, how can you know what the right time is? Here's how I do it, at least, what I recommend to people. When you know if you don't do something now, it will get worse. Okay. So for example, if you are stuck in your business, you're stuck on your health and weight loss journey, you're stuck in your marriage, you're stuck in any relationship for that matter, your job, right? Like you hate your job and it's just going to get worse. That's when you take the time and energy to move forward, right? Like you don't have to stay stuck. Why be unhappy? What are your health and happiness worth to you? I'm going to ask you this again and again. Comment in the chat if you're joining me live. I see some live people here. So what's the right time? When you know if you don't do something now, it is going to get worse because you are worth putting energy into yourself so it doesn't get worse. Because what's the next level? Right? What's going to happen if you don't fix it? I ask that on my strategy calls all the time. What happens if we don't fix this? Right? You want to lose 20 pounds, but what happens if you don't? If nothing happens, then fine, stay where you are, right? That's totally cool. But like, if it's really going to affect everything in your life, well, then let's do something about it. So that's number three. When's the right time? Question number four is the last question of how to choose the right investment for you. How do you decide? Actually, so how do you decide what is the right thing for you? Go with your gut. Number one, right? You go with right here. And I ask people that all the time, like, what's your gut telling you? What's your heart telling you? What do you need to know to be 100% certain that something is right for you? Right? You go with your gut. But my biggest piece of advice, in addition to going with your gut, is think like the future you. Right? And if you're a business owner, you might have heard this before. You want to think like the future you, not like the past you. It's very easy to go backwards and think of memories and think of what you've done in the past or what your gut was telling you in the past. But you want to think about where you, in the mindset of where you want to be, right? So, for example, let's say 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, okay, I'm 20 pounds down. That's my goal, right? I'm 20 pounds down. I am much stronger physically and emotionally. I no longer have pain in my knees. And I have so much more energy to exercise, to go do more adventures with my family, to run around with my kids, my grandkids, whatever. Would I regret this investment? Right? Whatever investment I'm deciding on, right? Would I regret it? If the answer is no, then that's how you decide. And that's exactly how you decide right there. So that's it. It's really easy, super easy. And then the money piece, right? So of course, with any investment, there's some financial commitment. And when it comes to money, there's always a way. And I never believed this for a long time in my life. But one thing I learned that life is not about having all the resources. It's about being resourceful. And all of us have those resourceful friends or family members that always manage to find a way to get things done that they want, right? They might not have any money, but they still find a way to make things work, right? Because they're resourceful. And that's what it's all about. We always find a way when we really want it, when we really value something. And one of my favorite books about this topic is called You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And a lot of you guys know her book, You Are a Badass. That's how she put her name on the map. But the Making Money one is my favorite by far. And it really kind of shares her story about how she really had like a lot of low days, like in the early parts of her career. She was living barely paycheck to paycheck, living on people's couches. She called it couch surfing. And as a writer, like a freelance writer. And, you know, what she did, like she knew that if she didn't make a change, her life was just going to get worse. So she ended up investing like thousands and thousands of dollars into someone to like help her, build her writing career. Right. And so that's what she did. And not only did that catapult her into success, but now she coaches other writers. And that's what she talks about in her book. And she's doing very well for herself right now, obviously. And so she not only invested in herself for her, but because she wanted to help other people. And so many people that I work with and create my weight, and so many people that are on the health and weight loss journey, they want to master their health journey so they can inspire others. Comment below if that's you. Hashtag that's me. I want to inspire others. I hear this all the time. And I love that about the health and weight loss journey. It is so much more than us, right? And if that's you, you want to not only take care of you because you know you're worth it, but you want to inspire others, you're in the right place. And if you're here in the right place, as I think you are, I want you to ask yourself, are you worth it? Are your health and happiness worth investing in? And again, it's not just about money, it's your time, it's your energy, it's also the belief in yourself, right? That I'm worth it. Comment below, hashtag I'm worth it, right? I am worth this. I can do this. You need to truly believe that in order to see change in your life. And I'll be honest, it's very common not to believe in ourselves, right? And we have to ask ourselves why. Like, why don't I believe I'm worthy, that I can do this, right? Maybe someone may have told you in the past that you're not worthy or that you can't. Maybe you put others before you, right? You put your health and happiness of others before your own because you think they're worth it, but you don't think you're worth it. Comment in the chat if that's you, your friends, your family, your kids, your husband, your wife, whoever, your parents. They're more important than you. And we just kind of like, our cup drains, right? You're filling up everyone else's cup, but yours is empty. How long can you do that for? Right? So it's not true that you're not worth it, that you can't do it. That's just like your old self, right? I'm telling you, you always have to think like the future you, a year from now, right? 3 months from now for some people, it depends what you're looking for. It could be less time. right? But don't think like the past you, think like the future you. That's why I say the health and weight loss journey is 80% mindset and 20% food and fitness. I'm serious. People who create my weight, they know that's true too. You can have that lifestyle that you deserve. All right. But it will require, right? There's no sugarcoating this, a commitment and an investment, especially if you know you've tried 8,000 things before. You've been like scratching your head and pulling your hair out for years and nothing's working. There's something missing. And we have to put the time and energy into figuring it out. Right? So remember the triangle, right? So remember the triangle, the cheap, good, quick triangle, right? You can't have all three. It's always like two, right? Always true. Okay. And if you've been stuck on this journey for so long, you've been just like going around and around, right? I know Create My Weight can help you, especially on the health and weight loss journey, right? And if you are ready to commit and you're coachable, that's the most important thing to understand. You have to be committed and coachable, because if you're not committed, it will not work for you. Nothing will work for you if you're not committed. Nothing, right? Don't waste your money. Do not invest if you're not committed. If you're not coachable, it will not work for you. Nothing will. So it doesn't have to be about Create My Weight. It could be anything in your life, right? Just don't waste your money if you're not committed, if you're not coachable. But if you're really ready to change and get unstuck, I suggest you find, the courage to be like, I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm ready. It is now. And commit to something, whatever is in your heart, whatever your gut is telling you, like I said, commit to something 1,000%. Okay, because that's how you're going to see the transformation, right? You are worth it. Do not sell yourself short. I want you to feel amazing on this Friday. Okay, if you're ready to change, and I'm here to help you have the confidence to do it. And I hope that this training here is helping you have that confidence in yourself. Okay? But if you are on the weight loss journey or health and weight loss journey, whatever, and you really want that help, right? And like, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to create my success story. I'm ready to be educated, right? Not just told what to do. I want to learn. And I want to stay motivated for the rest of my life to continue. If that's you, guys, I want to talk to you, because I got you and you will succeed. All right. Create My Weight has an amazing team to support you. CreateMyWeight.com/apply. And I'd love to talk to you and see if we can help you. Right. But you have to be committed and you have to be coachable. Everything else will fall into place. Right. But you have to know that you're worth it, and you have to believe that it's possible. Okay. And I promise you'll succeed. So I want you to ponder over that over this weekend. And again, this doesn't have to relate to Create My Weight or health and weight loss. It could be anything in your life. It could be your relationship. It could be, your business. It could be maybe getting a job. Right? Educate yourself, commit to something, and you will thrive. Right? Hope that helped you guys. Have an awesome weekend. I meant to come on earlier, like I said, but this is really on my heart the last few days, and I really hope it speaks to some of you. Comment in the chat with your big takeaway from this video, this training, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye guys. See ya.